So, how many of you have heard the phrase from a lot of modern women, strong and independent? I'm sure many of you have. That's what a lot of women say nowadays. I'm strong and independent. And I can't help but think to myself a lot of times, yeah, sure you are. Uh, Welcome back to Resilient Man Channel. So, that's what we're going to discuss today, the so-called strong and independent woman, and some different nuances of that. I think you guys will find this episode of Resilient Man interesting and fun. Um, like and subscribe down below. Please comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So, when I hear a woman nowadays say, I'm strong and independent, I always think to myself, from what? From men? From your role as a woman, as a wife and a mother? I mean, what exactly are you strong and independent from? You know, those roles as a woman, a wife, and a mother, women took pride in those roles for all of history. And now, some, not all, some modern women have decided that they can go it alone. They are strong, they are quote unquote strong and independent. And most of them don't need a man. They can do it all alone. And that is true. They don't need a man. They can make their own way and do their own thing, but at what cost? I'm probably going to date myself here, but when I think of a strong and independent woman, I think of Margaret Thatcher, former Prime Minister of the UK. Now that was a strong leader, and that was a strong woman. But even Margaret Thatcher was a wife and a mother and took pride in those things as well as being Prime Minister. So I don't know, maybe modern women know better than the women that came before them for thousands of years. It's just, I feel it's truly sad that some women have taken on this moniker of strong and independent. And I really believe that history will show this era was very detrimental to society, to families, to children, to men and women, to families. I mean, if you think about it, okay, so you're calling yourself a strong and independent woman. You're separate. You're an individual. You can go it alone. Okay, so a lot of these women, you reject the role of a traditional woman, the feminine role, a wife and a mother, the matriarch of the family, which is a proud thing to be. Throughout history, the wife and the mother has had a very strong role in guiding and directing the family. Many men will tell you that they counsel and listen to their wife and they respect their wife and her opinion. So the strong and independent woman is actually throwing that away, which is sad and it's unfortunate. But think about this. So you don't want the feminine role, the wife role, the mother role, but you're going to go work for a man in corporate America to be used your whole professional life and then discarded when you are no longer useful. And all for what? For a dollar bill, and to be able to be on your own and, independent, as you say. That makes no sense to me. And I think some women are waking up to that, but unfortunately there's still a lot who have been brainwashed by the feminist party line and to their own detriment. But, let me ask you guys this question, and you'll probably get a kick out of this, but comment down below. How many times have you visited a woman friend's home who is divorced, and you can't help but think to yourself, I wonder how much of this is paid for by child support and alimony? I have found myself thinking that. The thoughts have come to me because of the situation in our society today where, let's face it, 80+% of divorces are initiated and filed by women. And so I have gone to parties or I've gone to cookouts or what have you. And, it's a beautiful 2-story home and all this stuff. And yeah, she has a decent job, but I still can't help but ask myself the question, I wonder how much of this is paid for by child support and alimony. And she was able to cash out and leave the marriage through the corrupt family court system, which essentially is enabling her to be, quote unquote, strong and independent. We see these videos online of on TikTok or what have you. I pay all my own bills and all that. Well, okay, so you're an adult. I mean, you would never hear a man saying that. You would never hear a man saying, I have a job and I pay my own bills. Other men would be like, dude, you're a douche. You're an absolute douche. Just shut up. So it's really funny when you hear women say that. Oh, well, congratulations, sweetheart. You're an adult like the rest of us. So, it's interesting, unfortunate really is a better word, the path that some modern women have decided to go down to be on their own. And all because the feminist, or in large part to the feminist party line of being with a man, being in a marriage, letting the man lead, let him be the leader of the home, is enslavement. I mean, you are basically held hostage according to that dogma. It's unfortunate. So I think, though, things may be starting to change somewhat, because what we're seeing now is a lot of men are saying, you know what, hey, I mean, you're strong and independent, fine. When we go on dates, you can pay the bill, or you can at least pay half. If you say you don't need me, fine. I'm not going to pursue you. I'm not going to approach you. I'm not going to do anything like that. And so where does that leave the women? It leaves them alone. And great. You've got your job. You've got your home. You've got these things that you're independent with. Enjoy it. Maybe some things are starting to change. Maybe the Titanic is starting to turn when it comes to our culture and our society, because there's a lot of talk now about ending lifetime alimony or making it more fair in the court system because of the fact a lot of women now are very educated or more educated, and they do have good jobs. They are making 6-figure incomes, and so it's not fair that the man is saddled with the alimony and child support that he was in the past. I mean, if you saw here recently, Governor DeSantis of Florida ended lifetime alimony, and the women in Florida freaked out. I mean, and why is that? Why is that? If you're strong and independent women, why are you worried about it? You're well educated, you have a great job, you make good money. Why is it you feel entitled to milk your ex for the rest of his life? I mean, it's just astounding. If the tables were turned, they would be up in arms saying how unfair it is and would be demanding that the laws were changed. So, but it tells a lot. It tells those women that you see out there doing, and if you are, with a woman like that or happen to be dating a woman like that, it tells you exactly the type of woman she is, and you may want to reconsider things, shall we say. So let's ask this question. Where does strong and independent women, where does that leave men? Women, these same women say they want, or at least the majority of them say they want a man. They want a man in their life. I'm talking about heterosexual women. But many of these women, in the next breath, will let the man know, I don't really need you, and you know, you're not really valued. You're not needed or appreciated. I can do everything on my own. So where does that leave men? It leaves men despondent. It leaves men flailing in the wind and not knowing where they fit in. You know, men still would like to be with a woman. They would still like to have companionship and find that woman to share their lives with. But how are they supposed to do that with a woman who is quote unquote strong and independent and doesn't need her man? You know, the ironic thing is many of us men took pride in being a provider and being a protector for our woman. We loved her, and we chose her to be our life partner and to grow old together and to have a family and all those different things. So we took pride in many cases of going out there and being the main breadwinner. We took pride in protecting her and making sure she was safe. And unfortunately, a lot of times that has been taken for granted. And unfortunately, you hear a lot of stories now where women, you know, again, 80+% are filing for divorce and they're leaving their marriages because they think they can do better. And they're going back out to ride the carousel, shall we say, in their 40s and 50s and realizing, oh shit, I made a huge mistake. You know, the man I had was a good man. He did love me. He did provide for me. He did protect me. And now this strong and independent shit is really not all I thought it was going to be, because I am truly alone. And, you know, women need to remember, if you are a woman and you happen to be watching this show, welcome to Resilient Man. This channel is not about hating women or anything like that. It's simply talking about the issues that we as men are faced with in our modern society and culture. So, period. But women need to remember that men make society work. And what do I mean by that? Who are the plumbers? Who are the electricians? Who are the welders? Who primarily works construction? Who builds the roads? Who keeps our electric grid working? Who works all the dangerous jobs like a lineman during the hurricanes? Who works the dangerous jobs like in the oil fields and you know things like that? It is men. It is men who do those jobs, and women do not do those jobs, and they would never do those jobs. The strong and independent women that I'm referring to in this video primarily work a lot of white and gray collar jobs. So that would be something that I would encourage women to do, is to remember, you know, men do make society run. We keep the engine of society running, and without men, everything would completely come to a screeching halt. You know, and that's something that you as men who are watching, you need to remember that as well. What you do matters, and you are needed, you are necessary. You know, but back to the being a provider and a protector of your woman. Women, unfortunately, took that for granted and used men for it and then discarded them. Now, I don't think all women set out to do that. I think what has happened is over time, after being married, after, you know, being bombarded with our society and our culture, with the feminist dogma, with the strong and independent bullshit that they're, you know, constantly told, and they're constantly told how they have been oppressed over the course of time, that these women finally decided to discard their men, realizing that they can cash out through the court system, through the family court system, who is biased and who is corrupt and is going to side with them 90+% of the time. So they're able to file. That's why we are seeing divorce being initiated and filed by women at 80 to 85% of the time. They know they can break the marital contract and leave with cash and prizes and actually get patted on the back for it. Oh, and take the children, to where the man is reduced to seeing his kids a few times a month. So that is where we're at, and that's unfortunate. But again, hopefully the tide is turning somewhat, because a lot of men are starting to reject these women and refusing to have anything to do with these strong and independent women. So now what? Now what do we do? Okay. To the women out there who you see yourself as strong and independent, and you've chosen this path, and you're a feminist, you're perfectly happy and satisfied in your independent life, to you I say, enjoy your cats and your box wine, because that's the way you're going to end up. You're going to come to a place after your career is over where you have no one to share your life with, and you're going to die alone. So enjoy your cats, enjoy your box wine. To the men out there who are watching this, I would say, remember, you are valuable, you are necessary, you are appreciated, and you are the ones who keep society running. I would also add too that if you were married to a quote-unquote strong and independent woman, and she left the marriage and she took the kids, and I can imagine how your story played out. Remember, you are valuable and you are necessary to those children as well. Stay in their lives as best as you can, do your best, and they will appreciate it when they get older. So guys, that's what I've got for today's episode of Resilient Man. Please comment down below your thoughts, your insights. Like and subscribe to the channel if this content is valuable to you. Remember what I say, know your worth, protect your peace.